Beautiful Mind looks at mental illness in a more positive way, looks at mental illness and art and science, and how when you intersect those things you can get interesting creations. And so we've invited speakers who've created in this field to talk about their work and to try and inspire students to do the same.
So for example, we have lectures on mental illness and photography, mental illness and artificial intelligence, so we move into the cognitive science field. We've got mental illness and English literature, and looking at women writers and conditions that they had, like manic depression or just bipolar disorder in general. We also have a lecture on mental illness and music, so I think it's quite wide-ranging and interesting.
Students can do life writing, a traditional piece of research, they can do art, digital work and so on. So the speakers reflect that. We've got practicing artists and museum curators, archivists working in History Centre, photographer and filmmakers, and lots of people who've worked in the field of mental illness in creating artefacts.
I work from a very personal perspective. My personal journey as a mother had not been a straightforward one, and my practice as an artist evolves from that personal experience.
Etty Wade works as a photographer and also as an academic, so really she's ideally placed for this module, and her subject matter has often been motherhood and the family, and I think she presents a side of motherhood that you don't always see in photography and or represented anywhere, which is about ambivalence, and sometimes might be to do with postnatal depression or the pain of motherhood, but also the joy of motherhood.
I kind of experienced postnatal depression, and then several years later, when my second son was born, I realized that my first time experience was actually it kind of cast a light, and I suppose because my experience was so acute, it felt important for me to try and put out there alternative representations, and that's where my work comes from. There's a diptych that I've made quite a few years ago of my two sons wrapped in sheets. The images are called Good Night Boys, but in effect the way that they're wrapped suggests that the figure wrapped under the sheet is dead. The fear that comes into your life when you have a child, the potential, the possibility of this child, of losing a child, and the realization that if that ever happens, if God forbid that would happen, your life would be over. And I wanted to make that visible. These two images are the kind of work that my mother-in-law absolutely abhors. But for me, it's not about killing my children, it's about dealing with those fears.
My talk is about building high-fidelity simulations of the brain. Very recently, Professor Markram from the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology has been awarded a €1 billion grant to try and build a software simulation of the human brain, a virtual brain if you like. And one of Professor Markram's motivations for doing this is that he believes this simulation could be used, if it's successfully constructed, could be used to shed light on various psychiatric conditions and mental disorders. One of the motivating factors for Markram was the fact that his son is autistic, and he's hoping that a simulation of this kind may shed light on autism. My talk will kind of be critiquing some of these notions. I'll be arguing that a computationally instantiated simulation of a mind may well simulate some aspects of mind, but won't necessarily simulate all aspects of mind. In particular, in my talk, I'll be suggesting that such a simulation may never genuinely understand.
Artificial intelligence is linking the mind and science in a new and innovative way, and that's why we want to have it as part of the programme. We hope it will inspire students to either write about artificial intelligence or other subjects which connect the mind and science in new and exciting ways.
I'm hoping that after the talk students will have demystified some of the artificial intelligence technology that can often be overhyped. They will have a more critical approach to accepting the claims of artificial intelligence researchers and people who use these tools in their practice as to exactly what they can achieve. So I'm looking to sort of instill a sense of criticism.
Well, assessment is more generically in either a written piece format, so that could be life writing, it could just be a coursework essay, it could be something in digital media, or they can produce an artifact which is accompanied by a very brief report between 500 and 1,000 words, just describing what the artifact does. People that will be taking the module and attending the lectures will also have the chance to look at these links between mental illness and other disciplines, just develop knowledge in these areas and hopefully then produce something, whether that's in a written form or in an artifact form.
Anybody can do the module, any student at KCL can do the module, and what I hope they'll get out of it is the opportunity to produce an artifact of relating mental illness and art and science, art or science, the opportunity to create something new, to make new connections between ideas and different fields, and to critique that, and I hope it will have relevance to their professional life and personal experience.
The Beautiful Mind module is part of the King's Experience Awards, an exciting addition to the college's co-curricular activities. They're designed to help you stand out in the increasingly competitive work environment. They're open to undergraduate and postgraduate students and are earned through the learning that you undertake outside your formal studies. They include the King's Global Award, which recognises your engagement with the global community, and the King's London Award, for your engagement with London communities outside your formal studies. Visit our website to find out more about the awards.